listen, Adam Silver didn't ruin the NBA to make Joker better than KD. That's not what happened. KD gave that up. He's supposed to be in a conversation with Kawhi and LeBron.
Let's not forget, KD has 2 rings.
But who says he's not? Wait a minute. Who said he's not?
Oh, well, I'm saying he's not, number one. Number two, the fact that anybody could argue that has nothing to do with Adam Silver ruining the NBA. No, Adam Silver did not ruin the NBA. This started with David Stern going crazy. They changed the rules because Shaq was leading in ratings and all that. Adam Silver didn't change the rules. Matter of fact, Adam Silver's been changing the rules the last 3 or 4 years with the hand checking and all that, and stop giving it to Steph Curry, all the rules for Steph Curry.
Yeah, remember the
James Harden.
Yeah, after he made it ridiculous, after we went through the landing space stuff, freedom of movement went crazy because they saw the Warriors were so good for ratings. They're like, oh my God, we need to allow players to have more freedom and stuff like that. On the thing about Jokic, though, I agree with AllBall's point, but that's more about the competition at center, not the rules to me. Jokic, to me, like you can't. There's no handshaking involved when he's posting up. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, I'm not gonna lie. The contact in the post these days is not as it's probably not what it used to be, but it's not as far off as the difference in the perimeter contact. Perimeter contact is insane these days, but in the post, sometimes they let them just like push Jokic around, and I'm like, this if that happened on the perimeter, you guys would blow the whistle in an instant. Like to me, a lot of it too is and Jeff Van Gundy used to call this out all the time. It feels like the officiating is so unbalanced. They let guys get whacked at the rim. But at the perimeter, if you touch someone, it's a foul. If you land in someone's landing space, it's a foul. And I actually agree that I think that the rules. What do you think, Fabian?
Not with I don't remember an era where anyone was happy with the refs ever. I've never remember a time period when everyone was happy.
That's just gamesmanship, though, Fabian. Like if you're on the court and you're a coach and you're a player. And you always trying to get an advantage. So you're going to have gamesmanship out there with the refereeing. I don't think there's ever an error. We could go all the way back to Chamberlain and those times. They never liked refereeing because they're going to call the game the way they see it, and the players on the floor see the game a totally different way. So I don't think, we can really say too much about refereeing. It's what they are told that's allowed. Right, it's the rules, it's the gameplay that's being put out there and how they dictate what happens on the floor. So if they I can't see Jokic not being good against Alonzo Mourning and Dikembe Mutombo too. I can't see that.
No. I'm not saying he won't be good. Remember the first thing I said I would love a Joker on my team, and I'm pretty sure he will be good. I'm not saying he won't be good, but I'm saying. Just imagine every other night you're playing against a solid defender. They don't even have to be great. I'm saying in today's game, nobody prides themselves on defense. Literally. Like no one even cares about defense.
What about your boy Drew Holiday?
All right, but he's a guard. I'm saying as far as big men, you may have a Rudy Gobert, who in my opinion is very overrated. You still have a Jared Allen. But what I'm saying is, hold on, those guys play center. You have Anthony Davis. I'm being honest. Joel Embiid is not a great defender. He doesn't pride himself on defense. Like, none of these dudes is deep. Brook Lopez a good defender. So I'm saying we can't even name 5 guys that Joker would have to go up against night in, night out. That's just a fact.
But you keep blaming Adam Silver. That's my problem. He didn't start this. He's trying to figure out a way out of this. Remember, look. There's no way we could blame him when David Stern never had to deal with this. His star of his league, he worked with him. He worked with Michael Jordan with these McDonald's commercials, Gatorade commercials, and all that. LeBron went against him. The decision. He didn't want the decision. He even called up ESPN trying to get it canceled. He hated it because a player was in charge. That's what the rumor was with David Stern. He hates all this shit. Adam Silver had to deal with all that. And it's funny how David Stern had to retire and just, God bless him. He passed away and everything, but he didn't have to deal with all this. Now that LeBron's kind of getting out of the league, Steph Curry's getting older, you see they changed the rules up, the CBA rules up. They're going to have less rules in favor of the players. I think everything's going to change now, especially with the Wembys, Jokers, Giannis, and Joker. These are the top 3 or 4 guys in the league. They're all big men. So maybe with the NBA that you want is coming back around. It just so happens that Adam Silver has to deal with all this bullshit. But I don't think he ruined the league at all.
Well, that's a good. Go ahead, Flea.
No, I just wanted to, before we moved on from it, I just wanted to ask Tu and the rest of the panel to kind of think about this for a second. Two really gets upset at the fact that Joker doesn't have a lot of guys to compete against night in and night out, right? In a time where there was a time where the center position was so stacked. But when I think about when Shaq was at the height, his prime, when he was winning championships, right? Shaq was literally the only center in the NBA that was good. He was here and everybody else was down here, right? And in that three-peat, the first center he was going up against is Dikembe Mutombo. The second center, the first, is Rick Smits. The second is Dikembe Mutombo. And the third is a combination of Todd McCullough and Aaron Williams, right? Like, think about that for a second, right?
Now watch this.
The guy that's backing up Dikembe Mutombo was Matt Geiger. Like, think about these things for a second. Like, Shaq was going up against, in his prime, when he was winning, his position was not very competitive. So
hold on. No. Great point, right? Great point. Give me the senses Joker went up against from round 1 to the finals.
Who they play in the first round?
Gobert.
Okay,
obviously Anthony Davis in the Western Conference Finals, and then Ayton in the semis, right?
And then Bam. But for today's game, you're seeing some of the best right there. AD and Bam are two of the best defensive players in the NBA.
Who?
AD and Bam are two of the better defenders in the league.
And then Gobert.
They're not great post defenders, I'd say.
No, I'm not taking that away from you. How tall is Bam?
I think Bam is 6'9", personally.
All right, we'll give him 6'9". I'm saying this. That list you named, Flea, yeah, they wasn't great players, but they were 7-footer guys with some weight on them. I'm just saying these guys is not going against none of their counterparts, man. Like, they have a YouTube clip of when they showed Dwight Howard playing against the Joker. Now, can Dwight Howard stop Joker? No. But what if the Joker is going up against that at least every other night? I'm not saying he won't be successful, but come on, man, he's going against guys that's 6'8", 6'9", and then you're going against guys that don't even pride themselves on defense. I'm just saying, like Dom said earlier, I understand it's a different time and a different era, but like, guys don't care about defense, and I think that's helping a lot of players in the NBA to flourish and win. I really believe that.
I think Flea brought up a crazy point because I forgot about that. The center was starting to get his stink right when Shaq was coming around. Like, what happened in the late 90s is the Michael Jordan effect, because that wasn't no rule change. Like, what happened there? Because Ben Wallace, we didn't even mention Ben Wallace. You threw Dwight Howard's name in the hat, but Dwight Howard is an exception, bro. Dwight Howard is one of the best defensive centers ever.
Hold on. I think it started getting diminished a little bit around the time Bynum left. Because right around that time with Bynum, it was still, you got the Jermaine O'Neal's. What I'm saying is, it was still at least a good 10 to 15 7-footers. Whether they was great or not, I don't want to argue that. I'm saying today, you can't give me 15 7-footers that's solid. Like, you just can't. And especially to play defense.
But so do you think that's Adam Silver?
Especially not 7-footers that's gonna like rebound, defend,
right?
do what you're looking for them to do.
But that's because of
hold on. Yeah, but how can you? Why the hell would you recruit a 7-footer that did something in 1988? You let Mark Eaton play today?
I get that.
Mark Eaton is not playing today.
Okay, that's a little excessive. Not playing. Boban's in the league.
So hold on. You telling me in that Miami-Denver series, Miami couldn't have used a big man that can at least rebound and block some shots?
Yeah,
Mark Eaton.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Mark Eaton, that's not the guy you're gonna like Rudy Gobert is moving way more than he is. Rudy Gobert is showing you they really play him off the court. That style of play doesn't fit in this era. So, and again, the point is, how did Adam Silver ruin that? He didn't ruin that. This started with David Stern.
Fabian, you naming Mark Eaton, a guy like who led the league in blocks like 5 or 6 different times. Like, in any era, I think he would be able to play and defend.
At least be in the league.
Yeah, and play and defend at the rim. If they insert Mark Eaton next to Bam Adebayo, I think that series is different. I don't know if they beat Denver.
So where are the Mark Eatons of the world?
Gobert.
All right, but one guy in the league.
He's more agile, I guess.
No, hold on, y'all. Hold on, Faith. I'm gonna tell you where the Mark Eatons is in the world. I'm sorry to cut y'all off. We be on live with a whole bunch of guys, Flea, Don, all of us. We hear guys talk. The narrative is, in these camps, in these practices, they're telling you if you can't shoot, you can't get a spot. So you may have some big men that's solid, that can play defense, that can rebound, that can block shots, but these GMs and these owners is getting caught up in this BS, and they're going, if you can't shoot, we not giving you a shot. So these guys is probably somewhere else overseas or somewhere else sitting in their living room because these analytics is messing the game up. That's where the Mark Eaton's is at.
That's a good
analytics. It goes by to what y'all was saying. Kobe was saying they got taught differently in Italy. All these great coaches were in Italy teaching these guys the game. So what are they teaching them here? The AAU culture. All you guys ever talk about with AAU, how these kids stay playing against their own age group, how they get left back on purpose. They don't do that in the European League. And on top of that, they're playing in a tougher league where you have centers. Why? Because the pros have a center in the league. It's catered to that. The NBA is not catered to no damn center anymore. It just isn't. It just so happens that Joker's playing against them. I'm not gonna say that's not Adam Silver's fault. It's not.
That's a great segue into the next topic about the 2000s NBA.